Hello. Are you doing okay? I mean, I know I would usually do the big tease where I'm like, the big news this week is this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, everybody I talk to here in Portland is so overwhelmed by the constant cognitive dissonance of being gaslit by the federal government on a hour by hour, minute by minute basis. And even though all the folks who are doing all they can to bring joy to the protests and silliness and humor, even though that really fills me up on a regular basis, it's still a lot. It's still, um, it wears you down. It's just wearing people down. And that's what it's designed to do. So I just want to make sure that you're doing okay. I want you to stay strong and keep up a positive, optimistic attitude, and we will get through this. Portland will get through this. We will. And so I'm going to keep talking about startup news. I mean, we'll talk about a few Portlandy things that kind of touch on startup-y kind of things, but let's keep talking about startups, because talking about startups to me is the most optimistic thing we can do. And seeing what founders are doing and seeing the amazing things they're creating really just gives me hope for the future. So let's focus on startups, shall we? But before we do that, I know the other part of this is a lot of people are reaching out to you. They're like, hey, are you okay? What's going on? I heard some things. It sounds awful. I watch Fox News, or I saw these AI generated videos from Sora or whatever. And you're like, I don't want to have to keep answering this thing. So this is something I found that will help you. Do you remember the weather hysteria site? Is it snowing in Portland? And you go to it and it's like, 99.9% of the time, it's like, no, it's not snowing in Portland. But on the rare instances that it is snowing, there's a freaking out Kermit gif. And it's like, yes, commence panicking. And it's been on the web. It was created by Max's Now. It's a great, just classic piece of Portland internet and internet history. And so I think inspired by that, somebody created Is Portland Burning? And so it's just a URL. Just send folks to Is Portland Burning? And the great thing is the site will take care of answering things for you. And people immediately go to the site and it's like, no, Portland isn't burning. And in fact, we'll show you live videos of all the things happening in Portland right now. And you can see it's not burning. And we'll fact check stupid things that the federal government and the president have been saying about Portland and how they're incorrect. We'll show you where there actually are fires in Portland, in case you're curious, and really just to help people understand that Portland is in fact not burning. So hopefully that'll be helpful to you. I will link that up so you can use it. And then I don't know if you watch the late night. Like sometimes I like watching the comedians on the late night because, mostly because Portland's been in the news so much. So Jimmy Kimmel has encouraged people to share stuff about Portland and to tag it with a very specific hashtag. It's show me your hellhole, all one word, is the hashtag. And I'll put that up on screen so you've got that. But if you're listening on the podcast, that's not going to help you much. It's show me your hellhole. So if you want to go out, take video of stuff that's happening in Portland, show people what your living hell looks like in Portland, your Antifa hellfire and brimstone kind of town, please feel free to do that. Please tag it. I'm going to keep tracking on it to see all the stuff that people are sharing because it brings me joy to see people being snarky. So I hope you submit some stuff and maybe if enough people submit enough stuff that I catch, we'll just create like a highlight reel of that stuff coming. Okay. Couple quick ones. Oregon UAS Accelerator. It's the drone and drone adjacent startup accelerator out in Pendleton. They've opened up applications again. You got a lot of time. They're not due until December, but I wanted to give you a heads up in case you're working on a drone solution and you think you could use the help and mentorship from the Oregon UAS Accelerator, I'd highly suggest that you apply for that program. It's fantastic. It's one of the best in the world. So no matter where you are, you don't have to be in Portland. You don't have to be in Oregon. You can be from anywhere on the globe, just so long as you're interested in spending time in Pendleton on the flight facility. You can shoot your shot. Shoot your shot, see if your startup gets in to the Oregon UAS Drone Accelerator, because it's amazing. And so I will keep reminding you about that one. Also, don't forget your South by Southwest pitch applications are coming due real quickly now. You missed the early bird. You got to get your South by Southwest pitch applications in if you want to be on stage at South by Southwest, the huge, big deal conference that occurs on an annual basis in March in Austin, Texas, where all the cool kids go. That application is still open, so please consider getting your startup in on that. And then coming up on October 21st, I wanted to highlight for you, because you're going to have to decide, there are 2 AI demo nights occurring in town in simultaneously, kind of in not intentionally in competition with one another, but they happen to be in competition with one another. One is the Portland AI Engineers Night, where the people regularly demo stuff that they're working on, and they have folks come up and talk about the solutions they're building. And then the other one is Oregon Venture Fund's PDX AI Demo Night. They're going to have another one of those. Both of those are occurring October 21st. So you've got a little time to think about where you want to go. I know the OVF one sells out quickly. So maybe like if you're getting to this a little bit late and not sold out, maybe you can get into the Portland AI Engineers one. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to make that decision, because, you can't be in 2 places at once. Well, you can with maybe send your AI clone to one of them, and then you can attend the other one, or send 2 AI clones and you don't have to attend either of them. Like, you can do that, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little punchy. I'm not. Apart from the cognitive dissonance, I don't feel so hot. But startup news continues to occur, and I'm not going to leave you hanging with no startup news. So let's keep going. This is the big news, the big story next week. High Desert Innovation Week in Central Oregon, mostly Bend, but Central Oregon. And so a lot of folks will be heading down to Bend to participate in all kinds of events that are occurring. I wanted to give you the entire week so that you're aware of what's happening. And also, I will be happy to share the final selection of startups that will be pitching at Bend Venture Conference. The largest early stage pitch competition in the Pacific Northwest happens right here in Oregon, in Bend, and I will be going down for that. So if you're headed down there, I hope to see you there. If you happen to see me in the crowd, feel free to come over and say hello, introduce yourself if we haven't met, or, if we have met and I stare at you blankly, maybe context for who you are and what you do. Okay, cool. So I'm going to read this. What's happening at High Desert Innovation Week? On Monday, it's High Desert Innovation Fest, which is a pitch competition for startups. Tuesday is Cultivate Bend Live, or Cultivate Live, brought to you by Cultivate Bend. Cultivate Bend is really the group focused on early stage consumer products companies, so food and beverage and apparel and outdoors and all those kind of things. They have a big event as part of High Desert Innovation Week. Wednesday, our friend Gary at Bend Outdoor Works, the accelerator for outdoor products, is having both a boot camp and, of course, their annual breakout event. And breakout is basically their demo day for companies they've worked with as part of their accelerator program. So if you're interested in really compelling and innovative companies being built in Oregon in the outdoors space, Bend Outdoor Works and the breakout event is the best place to see those companies and meet that community and get connected and those kind of things. So if that's of interest to you, you're working on that type of startup, or you want to be around those types of startups, love Bend Outdoor Works, and would love to have you get connected with those folks. And then, of course, Thursday and Friday is Bend Venture Conference. If you're not familiar with Bend Venture Conference, it's in its 22nd year. As I mentioned earlier, it's the largest early stage pitch competition in the Pacific Northwest. They have 2 categories. They have very early stage companies. For that one, only companies from Oregon are allowed to pitch in that segment. And then they have a growth stage group, which is, they're still fairly early stage startups, but they're a little further along. So just to even out the competition, they have those 2 tracks. And what I'm going to do for you, if you're still on the fence about whether you would like to go down to Bend or not, or whether you'd like to get a ticket to BVC, I'm going to share with you the final docket of who will be taking the stage in both categories and what they do, where they're from and what they do. So you'll have all the information you need to decide if you want to go to BVC and see them pitch, or if you want to do like I do, I go to BVC and go to the big happy hour, where it's great because everybody's at the big happy hour and you get to see everybody. And then they have a breakfast the next morning where if you miss people the night before, you get to see them. They have a ticket just for that. It's like the social butterfly ticket. I like to think that as a ticket, that they created specifically for me, with me in mind, because I used to have to buy the whole ticket and then just go to the happy hour. But, go to the whole show, go see all the pitches, go see who wins. Like, it's a really good event. Tower Theater, classic theater in downtown Bend. But I've delayed enough. Let me give you the companies that you will see on stage at the Tower Theater, okay? So for early stage, it's 360 Sierra out of Bend, Oregon. It's an all-in-one platform for vehicle rental operations powered by an AI master operator. Neurosum out of Eugene, Oregon. Neurosum is advancing a clinically validated personalized neuromodulation therapy to reduce dementia risk by enhancing deep and REM sleep. SoCo Life, also out of Eugene, Oregon. SoCo Life is revolutionizing cardiac care with innovative non-toxic patches for congenital heart defect repair, reducing reinterventions and healthcare costs. Toastware, caveat pilum, Toastware out of Bend, Oregon. Cold is universal, your gear is personal. Toast solves both with a personal thermostat for your jacket, making existing apparel your go-to for warmth. And then, of course, it wouldn't be an episode of this recap if I didn't mention Yak. Yet again, this is like the 200th week in a row that I've mentioned Yak. I mean, so much so that Shannon and Yak is asking if that should be established as a KPI for the company. That did we get a mention on the recap this week? Okay, so Yak, the only Portland company, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. The only one from Portland that made the docket in the early stage is Yak. Yak is the all-in-one automation and AI-powered platform that automates audits for accounting firms, cutting admin work in half and ending auditor burnout. So those are all the early stage ones. And they get up, they pitch, the winner is chosen, and the winner gets one of the comically big checks with some money on it. And then the growth stage are AirBuild out of Portland, Oregon. AirBuild creates modular self-powered systems that capture carbon, purify water, and turn waste into biochar. Bold Reuse out of Portland. Bold Reuse reduces cost and waste from single-use packaging through reusable packaging systems. A Bold Reuse is critical infrastructure for the circular economy. Marine Situ out of Seattle, Washington. Marine Situ provides marine infrastructure monitoring through their AI software platform, preventing costly interventions, saving time, and increasing efficiency. Photon Marine out of Portland. Photon Marine is building the world's most capable electric fleet of boats. They're boats. So they're EV outboard motor boats that they're building. I added a little to their description just to give you more context because they were being a little brief about it. And then finally, Rapta out of Tigard, Oregon. Rapta supercharges U.S. manufacturing by increasing capacity 30% through eliminating 98% of errors and accelerating workflows 10x faster. number. So that's what Rapta does. Again, looking forward to going down to Bend. It's always a good event. It's always a great place to catch up with folks or, chat with folks that I haven't had the chance to talk to in a few weeks, months, or years. And so I look forward to heading down there, and maybe I'll even be able to report back on who won if I'm paying attention to what happens. But I often wind up in a lot of like coffee meetings and stuff with folks while I'm there. So I may not have the breaking news during the episode next week, but I will let you know who won eventually, who got the big check for both the early stage as well as the growth stage. So stay tuned for more on Ben Venture Conference. And then, of course, speaking of people pitching, it was Pitch Latino last night. It was sold out. Tons of people there. Amazing energy. They held it at OMSI in the Empirical Theater with the severe steep slope to it, and lots of great pitches, lots of vendors selling products and introducing their products to people. The winner was a Mestiza Cafe out of Medford. So that was an interesting win. We had the bakery win. Was that last time that the bakery won? So it's interesting to see these retail environments really stepping up and winning Pitch Latino. That's an interesting trend. I think it may be almost a trend. So I want to keep an eye on that one. Always love seeing who comes out the winner of Pitch Latino, because of course it's a crowd vote. So it really comes down to who has the energy and the good pitch that night to really win the crowd over. And then there was I think it's lightning jelly. There was another one that people cannot stop talking about. Lightning jelly. It is made with Pinot Noir grapes. So too many grapes are grown, or not enough vintners are buying grape supply from Oregon growers. They take those Pinot Noir grapes and make jelly out of them, which is super interesting. And people say it's great. I didn't get to grab any, but people were loving it. People were loving all the food at Pitch Latino. So always good. Again, thanks to everybody who came out. Thanks to everybody who said hello or who had the opportunity to meet. It was a great evening as always. And thanks so much to all the companies that took the opportunity to either pitch or share the products that they were building with the community. It's always just a well done and really just inspiring event. And congrats to Juan Barraza and crew on pulling off yet another successful Pitch Latino. Then finally, Brad Heller, who may be somebody who's known to a few folks here from the previous kind of generation of the startup community here in Portland. He was at Jive, I believe, for a while. I know he was at About Us, and then he wound up going through the first cohort of Pi. And I often refer to Brad as one of our success stories, even though his startup failed. And, now he's like on his third or fourth company. He's the founder of, and last I checked, he was in Berlin, but I believe he's in London now. But still, love keeping tabs on the people who used to be part of the Portland startup community. And so Brad appears as a guest on Brittany, Ellick, and Cruz Overcommitted podcast. So I will link that up so that you can watch that, hear from Brad, get some of the nostalgia about his founder journey and the previous startup community here, and all in all, just great insights. I always love hearing from Brad, and he's really a compelling founder, and always like he starts something, gets like the first one failed, but a lot of the others were exits and successful exits at that. And then he comes up with another concept that he wants to work on. So he's working, I think it's called Tower. Again, it's not officially a Portland startup, so I don't track it as well as I should. But take a moment to hang out with Brad and Brittany and crew, and hear what he has to say about being a founder. Cool. All right, we're on the secrets. It's just you and me. Like everybody else is gone. So as I mentioned, I'm really not feeling great. I think hey, I'm old, so there's that part. But the other part is just like I got my COVID booster this week, and I think it's kind of catching up with me. So because I knew I was going down to BBC, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a lot of people from all over the place, so I should probably be boosted. So not feeling so hot. I hope the episode was at least tolerable, and I apologize if it wasn't. It's probably a little short. I don't know. I won't know until I go back and actually edit it, but it's feeling like it's a fairly short episode, fairly low energy episode. So for you, that means it's way more digestible. You don't have to sit here and listen to me the whole damn time. What did I do this week? I caught up, like I've been busy with random stuff, but I wound up catching up with a number of, Pi alums and other folks, and they, just got, I'm able to have more direct conversations with people that I've had, prior experience with, that built up trust, and am, always happy to hear their critical feedback, as well as, they kind of rough through ideas with them. But that was really good. And like, I was, I mentioned Pitch Latino happened this week, and with Pitch Latino, it just draws out so many great people from the community that I wound up running into a lot of people at Pitch Latino who I was like, we need to catch up. It's been too long since I've seen you. And some of them, like, we were, kind of going back and forth on like, hey, what does the community need? What should we be doing? What could I be doing? And, yeah, just lots of ideas, lots of things. I've been thinking about startup accelerator kind of concepts. I've been thinking about inspiration, kind of aspiration for founders. See if we help founders feel more energy and inspiration, maybe inspire people who want to be founders to take that leap. I don't know. I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing this. This is fun. And this is fun. Like, I talk to a lot of people about this, and it's just like, they're like, what's bringing you joy right now? And I'm like, actually being shitty at YouTube is bringing me joy right now. Like the same way the blog always has, only more people seem to be consuming the YouTube and the podcast content. So of course that brings me joy that you're interested in what's happening in the Portland startup community and broader Oregon startup community. And I am really enjoying learning how to do this stuff and being bad at it. Like, it's fun being bad at stuff. And sometimes as an adult, it's hard to remember how much fun it is to be bad at stuff. Like when you were a kid, it was a lot easier. Maybe not when you were a kid, but when I was a kid, it was a lot easier to be bad at stuff. So yeah, that's kind of all that's going on, and just really trying to weather the news cycles about Portland right now. So I hope you're able to do that as well. Hang in there. We will get through this. I know we will. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.